There's a group called the Parenthood. They're an advocacy organisation. They deal with matters of, you guessed it, parenthood. And they are advocating now to the federal government that the federally funded paternity and maternity leave scheme, that is currently for half a year, should be increased to the full 52 weeks. You get a full year off if you have a child. Now, there are a lot of businesses that already offer that extra 6 months. News Corp, where we work, is one of them, I know that. This would cost apparently $4.8 billion annually to the federal budget if they extended it fully to the full year. And something close to minimum wage is what you get paid as the federally funded maternity leave. Part of me goes, well, do we really need to stump up another $5 billion a year for this? But then I thought, hang on, we have serious problems with birth rates in this country. Anything we can do to encourage people to have more children, and this would be a pretty serious incentive to say you can have a full year off work to stay with your child, maybe it will do something. Because, of course, one of the problems with not having kids is that we're not generating taxpayers. We keep trying to patch that up by bringing in people from overseas. So there isn't genuine argument, an economic argument to be made that spending some tax now could, and someone would have to run the numbers on it, but it could in the future result in more tax revenue because you've given people the opportunity to have more children.
You make a great point. You can't bang on about immigration numbers are too high while at the same time not doing anything to support or doing more to support people who want to have children. There's not only an economic benefit, though, but also allowing parents to spend the first year with their child. I mean, when you get babies being put in childcare and, for some parents, they have to do that because without two incomes, they can't afford to live. But I don't think anyone would agree that's in the best interests of a baby. So this has economic benefits and social benefits. $4 billion is a lot of money until you realise what else the government is spending billions on, and then all of a sudden you think, well, of all the crazy things they're throwing money at, this ain't one of the craziest ideas.
And it seems like a lot of money until you realise we're spending $16.5 billion every year subsidising institutional childcare. Significantly more than just extending paid parental leave. I mean, one of the options I'm quite in favour of is saying in the first 2 years of your child's life, you can take that Commonwealth childcare subsidy that's already budgeted for, already being given out, and use that to supplement your maternity leave. So you can effectively have an additional extra sum of money to support one parent to stay at home or pay grandparents to look after their children. And the subsidy is very generous. For the average household, that'd be like 20 grand a year per child. If you have multiple children and you can get together with some other families, that's significant. But the bottom line is we have to do more to support young families in this country. The intergenerational report said that the majority of the growth in government spending over the next couple decades is due to our ageing population. And immigration doesn't stop an ageing population because migrants get old too. It only delays it for a couple of years. We have to lift our birth rate desperately.
Well, I mean, health insurance premiums went up just the other day and they were talking about the ageing population. This is a problem that will continue, so we've got to do more to support people who want to have children. You've got countries in Europe that have proposed much more radical things than this, such as giving parents who have 2, 3, 4 children massive tax breaks. Women paying no tax whatsoever after a certain point if they have enough children. Whether you agree with those or not, I think most people would agree with the principle, if we don't want migrants flooding the country, then we've got to produce our own children. We need to help people do that economically.
Or you can have income tax sharing, which they do in parts of the United States to spread the burden. Migrants who come in obviously start from a point of having paid less tax than someone who was already born in the country. So not only do they age, but they've been here for less time than someone who was born here to contribute to the tax pile. And it's also worth pointing out, I mean, it's not all that long ago that you didn't need a federally funded maternity leave scheme because you could afford to have a one-income family. And if mum wanted to stay at home with her baby for not just 1 year, but 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 18 years, you were able to do it on a reasonably modest income. But we said that was bad because we must have equality, which means women must go to work. It's not good enough to give them the option. They must go to work and be good little worker bees to generate tax for the government. And here we now are in a position with the cost of living where you have no choice but to have two incomes in order to survive. That is also a big problem that ought to be addressed.
Exactly.